You agree?
100%. And everyone in this audience knows that. Trump ran explicitly on getting us out of these exact type of regime change wars. He flipped around for some reason. He's literally doing the model that all of the people who supported him said was the opposite of what he was going to do.
In this video, progressive commentator Luke Beasley confronts Michael Knowles and Dan Crenshaw over Donald Trump's hypocritical, disastrous new war in Iran. Hit subscribe and let's watch this MAGA meltdown together, and I'll give my 2 cents at the end.
Yeah.
You agree?
100%. And everyone in this audience knows that. Trump ran explicitly on getting us out of these exact type of regime change wars. He flipped around for some reason. He's literally doing the model that all of the people who supported him said was the opposite of what he was going to do. And this is not surprising. He's done, I know Dan supports Trump a lot, you do too. Yikes, given his record. He's failed over and over on his own campaign promises. I didn't like what he ran on, so it's not surprising that I don't like what he's doing. But anyone in this audience or the two next to me, the fact that you still support him after he's lied about his affordability agenda, he literally said specifically, by the way, I'll loop this back, but that energy prices would be cut in half in his first year. It's been a year. That didn't happen. Household electricity bills have been increasing significantly. Health insurance premiums skyrocketing. You voted for a bill that Trump introduced. That
I thought we were talking about Iran.
They gutted, hold on. They gutted social programs to funnel money to the wealthy. The point in illustrating that is to explain it's obvious that the character of this man would be that of someone who would violate his own campaign promises on Iran and anything else. And a regime change war in Iran that he can't even exactly articulate what it's for is the epitome of a contradiction from his promises.
All right, Dan, is the Iran strike a betrayal of President Trump's promises of America first?
Well, no, I mean, no, because sure, first of all, people need to define America first. And look, even in our own party, some are saying it's a betrayal of America first. Because some people, I think, defined America first as pretending there's no outside world and saying, like, well, look, if we don't solve every single problem here at home, then there's no way that we can do anything abroad. But that's a contradiction in itself. It's like saying you can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. America first means America leading and remaining prosperous and maintaining our prosperity through that security umbrella that we have created since D-Day. D-Day is, I think, one of the most important days in history because it's the day that we decided that we would lead the world. And when we started leading the world, I mean, things got a little bit better. If you look at pre-World War II history and post-World War II history, we don't really have a lot of gratitude, I think, for what has been created since then and the amount of prosperity and luck that we've had since then. And so America First is about maintaining that. And if you're going to, if I were to summarize foreign policy in one word, it's pretty easy. It's stability. And so we want stability. And Iran is an agent of chaos, has been for 47 years, ever since the Islamic Revolution and taking our people hostage, Beirut embassy bombings, killing hundreds and hundreds of soldiers in Iraq, training Taliban to build IEDs that take out people's eyes, and leaving me with so much scar tissue that I have to get nerve surgery like 2.5 weeks ago. So, I mean, Iran is responsible for all of it. And, of course, their peaceful nuclear program that can only be done under 500 feet of bunkered, protected territory. Look, they're creating surrogate warfare via Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, the Iraqi militias. I mean, it's just constant and never ending. And so, there's a debate over whether this decision is America first or constitutional or legal or whatever. I think the proper way to even address it is to say that it was somewhat inevitable, because I mean it was the natural escalation of things. It was the geopolitics almost gave us no choice.
After that brutal reality check, Michael Knowles steps in to defend the push for full regime change in Iran by bizarrely comparing it to Venezuela. Watch this.
So I assume that you were talking about the legality of it. And in any case, regime change, or of course we want regime change. I mean, he did say that, and that is the point. What would be the point of this otherwise?
That's been U.S. strategy for 47 years.
Yeah. You just nailed on it then. Wouldn't that require troops on the ground? Do you think just us killing a bunch of leaders is somehow going to create a less or a more stable Iranian government.
That's what we did in Venezuela. It took 88 minutes.
Iran's very different than Venezuela.
Yeah, you're right. It might take 88 days in this case, but
and you know that for certain.
No, we don't know it for certain. But
depth of their government.
We do know that if
still
you
in place.
eliminate like the first, second, third tier of leadership, which is
But again,
continues to be the goal, their entire navy, and their ability to launch missiles, which is increasingly being destroyed as we're seeing less and less of their ability to send those our way. Yeah, you're creating at least a situation where the Iranian people can figure it out on their own. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be as easy as Venezuela? No, it won't be. But it will take this problem off the map. It's also part of a broader strategy, and you know they don't mention this in the administration, but if you take a step back, it is part of a broader strategy to deter China ultimately, because you're taking people off the chessboard. Okay, there's hundreds of thousands of Chinese workers in Venezuela working the oil and gas industry down there. You know who's not going to be working the oil and gas industry down there anymore? Chinese workers, because our big 5 oil companies are going to be doing it instead. So, and also about 12%, I think, of Chinese energy comes from Iran through their sanctions, like sanctioned oil that they give to the Chinese. You know, taking that off the map is a big deal for our future problem with the Chinese.
furthermore, look at what Putin said hours after the strike on Khamenei. He said, "Hey, by the way, those security guarantees in Ukraine, they look pretty good right now, Trump. How about you just play cool?"
Again,
also
this
the
is like,
Shahid drones. Do you support?
This is like the exact same. This is so eerily similar to the justifications that we've heard before with interventions that ended up. I agree
with that part.
terrible.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm glad Khamenei's dead and the regime horrible. But if you watch Trump talk about this, he can't explain what the end goal is.
Let me finish.
What it looks like for this to have been achieved, whatever it is that we're doing. And Libya, Iraq, we had this same thought of, if we take out some of the leaders in this government, things are going to get better, and we made them worse. And we had, obviously, American lives lost.
So, what do you think? Did Dan Crenshaw just admit that America First is nothing more than rebranded George W. Bush-era neoconservatism? Let me know in the comments below. What we just watched is the total collapse of the MAGA anti-war facade. For years, Donald Trump and his media surrogates hammered the establishment for getting the United States into endless Middle East wars. But the second Trump decides to launch a massive preemptive strike on Iran, the Daily Wire crowd instantly morphs back into Dick Cheney. Dan Crenshaw literally sat there and redefined America First to mean global military dominance since D-Day. Then you have Michael Knowles, completely out of his depth, suggesting that because a surgical strike in Venezuela took 88 minutes, a war with a heavily armed nation of nearly 90 million people like Iran will somehow be a walk in the park. It is the exact same catastrophic arrogance that led to Iraq. Luke Beasley masterfully used their own broken campaign promises against them and exposed the complete intellectual bankruptcy of the modern right. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for more and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.